Mahatma Gandhi, 1869 to 1948.
Family life. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was born on 2nd October 1869. He was born in Porbandar in Gujarat, Northwest India.
Gandhi's father was the chief minister of Porbandar. His mother was highly religious. She worshipped the god Vishnu but also believed Jain teachings of mutual tolerance and not causing injury to living things. Gandhi was born into a privileged caste and therefore received a good education. Caste means the classes that people in India were divided into.
Married life. At the age of 13, Gandhi had an arranged marriage to a girl who was also 13 called Kasturba Makhanye. Arranged marriage means a marriage between two people that is arranged by their families.
His first son was born in 1888 when Gandhi was 18 years old and a student at Samruddhi College.
Studying. Gandhi was not very happy at college, so when he was offered the chance to study law in London, he took it.
He worked hard and began to study all religions. Until this time, he had never really been interested in religion.
When he returned to India, he found it hard to find work, so he eventually took a job in South Africa for a year.
South Africa. Racism was pre-relevant in South Africa. Black and Asian people were not given the same rights as white people. During this time in South Africa, Gandhi experienced racism.
On one occasion, Gandhi was removed from the train purely because he was not a white person.
Another time, he was asked to remove his turban by a European magistrate. He refused and left the courtroom.
Gandhi and Politics. Gandhi started a political movement called the Native Indian Congress. He believed in non-violent political protests.
He returned to India in 1916 and saw how oppressed the Indian people of Bihar were by the white British masters.
He began to encourage people to stand up for themselves and their rights in peaceful protests and strikes.
The people were grateful that somebody was interested in the situation, and he became known as Mahatma, meaning great soul.
A famous leader. Gandhi's fame began to spread. Indian people saw him as their voice for freedom and fairness.
He started a boycott of buying British goods. This meant that he encouraged people not to buy things made in Britain. This led to his first arrest, and on 2nd March 1922,
he was sent to prison for 2 years. Gandhi went on many hunger strikes to bring attention to the unfair treatment of Indian people at the hands of British.
The Salt March. When Gandhi was released, he began a campaign to end the British rule over Indian people.
In 1930, the British introduced a tax on salt. This hit the poorest people the most. In protest, Gandhi marched 215 miles to the sea to get his own salt.
Thousands of people joined him on his march, and 60,000 people were arrested, including Gandhi.
People power. British began to realize that Gandhi had many followers and a lot of influence on those people. As a result, they had to
ease poverty, grant status and recognition to people classed as the untouchables, give women more rights, eventually allow India to have political independence from Britain.
India is split. The Congress Party decided that it will be better if they split India into two halves, one being Hindu India and the other Muslim Pakistan.
This was called partition and it happened in 1947. Gandhi was unhappy about partition and was worried that the two sides could end up at war with each other.
Death.
On 30th January 1948, Gandhi was on his way to a prayer meeting at Birla House in Delhi. He was shot 3 times in the chest.
Gandhi's body was cremated. His ashes are kept in Aga Khan's palace in Pune, where he was once kept prisoner.
No. Gandhi had been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize 5 times but was never awarded it. In the year of his death, the prize was not awarded to anyone. The reason given was there was no suitable living candidate.
His birthday is now a national holiday in India. Gandhi's quotes.
Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever.
An eye for an eye only ends up leaving the whole world blind.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
In a gentle way, you can shake the world.
The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Thank you!